Sometime in February, I told you all that Dangote Refinery was coming to the NGX. I'm back with the update because things have moved significantly and the timeline is now very real. If you missed my previous video on this topic, here's a recap. Dangote Petroleum Refinery, which is Africa's largest refinery, is planning to list its shares, a portion of its shares, to the general public very soon. That's the headline. Now let me tell you everything that has happened since then. First, the stake. Dangote confirmed that he is listing a 10% stake of his refinery. The refinery is valued at around $20 billion. So, we're basically talking about a $2 billion offering coming up on the IPO soon. To put it in better context, analysts have projected that this refinery listing alone could add 20% to the NGX market cap upon listing and potentially push it to 50% within a year after listing. That's how huge this is. Secondly, the banks have been appointed. Dangote Group has named Stanbic IBTC Capital, Vetiva Capital Management, and First Capital as the leading issuing houses and financial advisors for the listing. When the banks are named before an IPO, you know that things are moving. Third, the timeline. The transaction is tracking towards a prospectus submission this April, a national retail roadshow, and an electronic IPO subscription platform launch in May of 2026, and also a formal main board listing between June and July of this year. Fourth, and this is the part that actually makes tremendous changes because it has never been done before. Dangote confirmed that shareholders will be able to decide if they want to receive their dividends in dollars or naira. And this is because the refinery earns in foreign currency. For Nigerian investors who have been looking for a way to own dollar-linked assets without actually traveling abroad, this is your opportunity. And finally, Dangote stated that priority will be given to retail investors, which is you and I, to ensure broad-based participation rather than concentration among large institutions. So, this is not just for the big boys. Everyday investors like you and I will have access. Now, here's what you need to keep your eye on before you rush to subscribe. The first one is, the share price has not been announced yet. Pricing will be set through the IPO process, closer to listing. Don't let overexcitement cloud your valuation discipline. And 2, only 10% of the company is being offered across what is expected to be a Pan-African multi-exchange listing. This means that free float could be limited and retail allocation may be slim. So you want to be early and prepared and not scrambling at the last minute. Thirdly, understand what you're buying. This is a refinery business, not a bank or telecom stock, which means that its performance is tied to crude oil prices, refining margin, and export demand. So make sure you go into this with the full knowledge of what you're actually buying. This is shaping up to be the biggest IPO in the NGX history. So whether you invest or not, you need to know about this because this will generally affect the entire market. So don't forget to share this with your investment circle and drop your questions below. And as always, follow me, like, share to anyone who fancies content that revolves around the US and the Nigerian stock market. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.